Today I will show you how to solve for an absolute value inequality. The process is very, very mechanical, but before solving you have to remember one rule. We have to isolate the absolute value quantity by itself. We always have to do it. You could never go off that. So for this inequality, I have 3 times the absolute value of 2x minus 1, take away 1, is less than or equal to 20. If you want to solve for x, and remember x happens to be captured inside the absolute value sign here, we have to isolate this quantity by itself. The process of solving is very, very mechanical. You have to remember 2 important formulas. Formula number 1, after I isolate the absolute value quantity, and it is less than a, then I could conclude x is between negative a and a. In this case, if you have to write it out in the inequality, we can say that x is greater than negative a and x is less than a. Then formula number 2, after I isolate the absolute value quantity, and this is greater than a, then we have 2 things happen. X is either greater than a or x is less than negative a. Now remember, a should be a number that is positive, which is greater than or equal to 0. And x is an expression inside the absolute value. That expression is something in terms of x. Now let me take you back to this absolute value inequality, and I show you step by step how to solve. Okay. First, I would like to isolate this absolute value quantity. I add 1 to both sides of the inequality. I have 3 times 2x minus 1 less than or equal to 21. And then I want to clean up the coefficient. I divide both sides by 3. Then I have 3 divide 3 out 1 times. I have 2x minus 1, absolute value less than or equal to 7. And then I look at the right side. Here are the 2 formulas. And I see that the x here is 2x minus 1. And the number a here is 7. So it somehow is matching with the formula number 1. So from here, I would be able to say that my expression 2x minus 1 is between 7 and negative 7. Then solve for x from here. I add 1 to 7. I add 1 to negative 7. I have negative 6. I have 8. And then solve for x. I divide everything by 2. Here I have x. Here I have 4. Here I have negative 3. And then you have to draw the solution set on the number line. Here I have 2 numbers, negative 3 and 4. And then we know that x is between negative 3 and 4. So we shade everything between negative 3 and 4, including negative 3 and including 4. And the interval notation for this is x belong to an interval, open the bracket, negative 3, comma 4, and you close the bracket. So that is step by step how to solve for an absolute value inequality. Please remember, after you isolate the absolute value quantity, and you have to ask yourself, should I use formula number 1 or should I use formula number 2? You only apply formula number 1 to the problem when you have the less than sign. And you can apply formula number 2 to the problem if the final inequality here is greater than.